at us. We are having yeah.
You're not on.
Oh yes, I'm on. I'm on. Okay. You'll all be on. So, yeah, look at this. Look. Does that sound like a microphone? Yeah. Every person in this room is going to be heard. But not herded. You know? It's a beautiful thing.
The herd will be heard.
Yeah. Because we're here to celebrate Festive Seasons. We're so glad that you're here. So think warm thoughts. You know?
No, this is heavy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I can see that.
So Ben's got a microphone for you.
I'm trying to find it.
Ah, try to find it.
I'm only going to be. I'm not going to be speaking at the same time.
Okay, you need an amplifier. You want me to sit right there?
You need a chair? No, I'll sit on it.
Okay. Does anyone hear sounds?
I hear music.
Where's that coming from? I know what's happening. It's coming from the CD in the past.
Test 1, 2.
Festive Seasons, everyone. Well, talking about selective evolutionaries, this is really, really special, and we value your presence and participation deeply. What you're going to hear is a preview, and some of the material tonight will not be done at the Scottish Rite Theatre on the 15th?
Yeah.
On the 15th of December. But Wassail has been going for 7 years now? 11 years. It just seems like 11 years. And Darrel gets it together with magicians and dancers and magical people and poetry and music to celebrate a time when the pagans and the Christians actually dance together in the village halls. And the wassail is both a greeting and a drink, you know, wassail. And the presentation tonight is just a taste of the 15th. So enjoy yourselves, and then we'll enjoy you. But welcome to your festive seasons. Welcome to every part of them. Joy to the world. Blessings and praise to Birdman, a friend who came all the way from Houston. Blessings and praise to Louise, Gail, Richardson. Blessings and praise to Benjamin Franklin, a man of great independence and our Bill of Rights. Blessings and praise to John Berry, a poet true to the seasons who always has the colour of sunlight with him. Blessings and praise to the elder Herman Nelson, whom we love with all our hearts, soul, liver and kidneys. Blessings and praise to the children of Scott Vanya in their own right, independent republics. Blessings and praise to Linda and Gordon, who are mystics in a desert, and the desert is a flower. Blessings and praise to Ron Cohen, who makes Round Rock levitate with his open mic. Magical, magical, magical. 300 original songs. Blessings and praise to every one of us tonight, that we might invigorate, levitate, and digest the times we are in with warmth, love, poetry, and music.
Yes, blessing and praise for Thom.
And Darrel. The bite of apple seasons. Now, you see apples there? Just imagine. This is the season. Cool chill. Now ice's wedding cake night. Slices of time arrive like leaves. Party guests. Strewn post-celebration spring falling down and apart with crinkled personalities. Bent out of shape. Grumpy, sweaty and withdrawn. 'Tis the season to be indoors. Stoke the fires of passion until light arrives in candles and smiling sunshine. Gifts will change hands and colours, faces beam red and ruddy, green mistletoe circle over doors like holly. We are, as seasons are, bent in crinkled harvests, hauled in and stacked in beds awaiting dreams. Light will arrive when she will. We will align ourselves with new sidereal time and change moods as well as costumes. On the cusp of midnights, find us changelings, hunger for a brighter future, promise visions, feel as well as see these seasons within, as they change names and partners in this dance this evening. The next piece is
Most of these poems tonight are by Thom.
and the music is by Darrel and his friends. This is by Paul Evans, who does the gardening column in the Guardian newspaper, and the theme is the blood-red brilliance, mystery, and melancholy of the hawthorn. Full of berry, the hawthorn's splash of red is the brightest thing on Windmill Hill. Why it's so loaded with berries, why they're so brightly red, and why they haven't all been stripped by birds yet is a mystery. What is even more mysterious is that the tree appears to be singing. From inside its wind-twisted tangle come little chafinchi, songs, subdued chimings like side-of-the-mouth gossip. Blackbirds and red wings come for the berries, but they only take a few, and there's no all-out plunder yet. Maybe they're waiting for another spike of frost. Too hard to tell. It has aluminum grey and brass-coloured lichens, green tufts of moss, and old riven bark. It seems small to be of any great age, but it struggles out of limestone with no soil to speak of, and its character has been shaped by adversity and exposure. This tree certainly has presence, and blue tits, wrens and dunnocks hide in it, out of the way of winds and the vast uncompromising world that could crush them with its gaze. They make their own secret sounds which play into the tree's plain song. On a day of cold sunshine, which has opened up the hill and the knapweed seed heads, the hawthorn is brilliant, but there's a kind of melancholy about it. It's as if the tree's fecundity is a last-ditch attempt to throw itself out of its nailed-down place, to pitch its future into the world through the innards of the birds. The hawthorn's blood red is also an omen, a signal for the 12th day of the 12th month of the 12th year. Sense. Perhaps it never did. But I love to hear you speak. Your voice a reassuring wind that lifts all flowers for human bees to drink, lilt of laughter between, as when we listen and respond. It could be in a cafe or on a street. There are some books I must reread, as if a hidden treasure lies buried in between lines. Do not ask why I have walls of tomes remembered, half elapsed, nor why, when given, I want each love gift back. There is justice in the learning that we share. To drink from waters there must mean more than reason. desire for understanding, love without limits. There are some things we release, like wild birds and fish. Some we keep close caged companions. All have wings, only some fly. Are seasonal, and if you think about the one that for America is, despite Robert Frost, I prefer the warmth of Derek Walcott. More than chilled reminders of winter ills when coughs and colds, goose pimple skin, and we must bundle blankets to keep warm, prefer indoors to wild winds which strip skin to thin. Give me hot teas and chats by fires. No snow, nor ice, nor roads of mush, slush. Freeze is not us. We are peace, prosperity, warmth, beam us into tropical sunshine dimensions. These may be wintry seasons. Still, from chill, we will be warmed in green of spring. Soon, white moon is calling. All will grow again in cycles, warming. Come, come, son. Your time for life is here and now. Grow bright and brilliant in your heated light tonight. It's the apple. Celebrate seasons fruitfully.
If everyone feels like it, you can howl at the end of the this piece of music that I'm going to play after Thom's poem.
Okay.
So feel free.
Apple howling.
It's very therapeutic.
Howling. Ow, ow, whatever
Free
you choose.
therapy.
It's good. Clears the air. So
Guaranteed.
here's the initial implication. May wind-blown apples carelessly gift thee with a sweetness ancient as pollination. Bees and apple trees have a relationship as mutual beneficial as our marketing. We are all as American as apple pie. Yet that apple starred in Kazakhstan, made its way with pilgrims, bees and travelers around our world and back again. We see an apple tree in full bloom. Varieties abound in every region. But blessed and blessing, it's always apple season. So now, it's time for another apple howling.
The wassail is happening next Sunday, 5:30 at the Scottish Rite Theatre. It's a really great event. All of the there's a whole myriad of poets
and dancers, and there's a play, there's a mama's play, and there's going to be juggling, and there's so much happening. It's a kind of a very fast-paced variety show, and everyone just donates their time, and all the funds raised go to the Kids for Kids charity, helping the children of the Darfur region of the Sudan. And this is a really special charity. It's quite a small one and a very energetic one. They have hardly any of their money goes to administration costs. Everything goes directly to the charity. And last year we raised $4,071, and you're allowed to specify what you want the money to go to. And so we bought several herds of goats and mosquito netting and medical supplies, everything to help real sustainable solutions. When I was in London 2 years ago, I met the head of the charity, Patricia Parker, and she told me very swiftly what her view was on charity, is that she didn't believe in it. She doesn't want to just give people money, she wants to give them sustainable solutions to make their lives better. And at the moment, Kids for Kids has, I think it's got 52 different villages that it has, it's really kind of funding and providing with goats. And so these people are really managing to eke out some kind of a living out there as a result of it. So it's a really good charity, and I urge you to come to the wassail next Sunday. Adults 15, children $5. So
Where is that?
it's at the Scottish Rite Theatre, which is kind of heading just south of the university.
It's on
On the Barker, yes. And so it's
about 17th and
yeah, it's opposite Women and Their Work. And two of the major contributors to Wassail just entered the room, Linda and Howie.
Yay.
Linda made the lovely poster, and she does all the set designs, and then Howie does the program, and he also puts on a horse head and conducts Bucolics Anonymous. So, it's true. I'm not lying. It happened. It's happened 11 years now. Or 10 years. This is about its 11th year. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so please come to Wassail. Thank you.
And just so you know, every person performs voluntarily for free, so that every 100% of everything raised goes directly to the children. Now we're going back to the 9th century, an Irish poem. I have news for you. The stag bells, winter snows, summer has gone. Wind high and cold, the sun low, short its course, the sea running high. Deep red the bracken, its shape is lost. The wild goose has raised its accustomed cry. Cold has seized the bird's wings. Season of ice, this is my news. Our inner calendar's seasonal, even when quite regional. We feel sunlight on our skin and deposit daylight savings. We spring forward, fall backward, rejoice with full moons, dream through dark nights, awaken into light, and make festivals where we can. Call it what ye will, Yule, Solstice, Saturnalia, Black Friday, Walmart hysteria. Gods demand seasonal propitiation. We sacrifice our tithes to them. Sacrificial lambs become Thanksgiving turkeys, Christmas chicken. ancient recipes and menus to get our gods to listen. There will always be a reason for inner celebration. Social venues allow us to express our joy at birth, sorrow at death, sun and moon and stars which witness our gatherings tonight and bless us with celestial mirrorings. They don't listen to the turkey. Benjamin Zephaniah is a Birmingham poet who says you've got to listen to the turkey. Feel free. It's the truth, yeah. Talking turkeys. Be nice to your turkeys, it's Christmas. Cause turkeys just want to have fun. Turkeys are cool, turkeys are wicked, and every turkey has a mom. Be nice to your turkeys, it's Christmas. Don't eat it, keep it alive. It could be your mate, not on your plate. Say, yo turkey, I'm on your side. I got lots of friends who are turkeys, and all of them fear Christmas time. They want to enjoy it. They say humans destroy it. All humans are out of their mind. Yeah, I got lots of friends who are turkeys. They all have a right to a life, not to be caged up, genetically made up by any old farmer and his wife. Turkeys just want to play reggae, and turkeys just want a hip-hop. Can you imagine a nice young turkey saying, oh, I cannot wait for the chop? Turkeys like getting presents. They want to watch the Christmas TV. Turkeys have brains and turkeys feel pain in many ways, just like you and like me. So be nice to your turkey this Christmas. Invite them indoors for some green. Let them eat cake and let them partake in our plate of organic growing beans. Be nice to your turkey this Christmas and spare them the cut-off knife. Join Turkeys United and they'll be delighted and you'll make new friends for life. This one's from my cat. My cat said this poem before I came here. She said, Thom, we do not like cold chill. In fact, it makes us ill. To think 0 degrees when warmth is what we seek, and we are furry, funky, friendly folk, which you know if you know us. Human fires burning with delight, warm embers growing red through darkest night. So if we seem on edge and ill at ease, it's only when a cold or sneeze takes away our optimism, please. When all we want to do is sleep in, and stay sleeping deeper in until Zen. Trust that explains all my complaining. Oops, another chill cold front is moving in. May the battle be heavy.
Everyone can join in the chorus.
Yep.
The chorus is let's get
fuddled. It's
Let's
legal.
get fuddled.
Let's get fuddled.
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 Okay, sorry. I
Okay.
know you can do that.
Well, after some fuddling.
When you explain what fuddling is.
Fuddling is when you have harmless fun with friends. We are fuddling tonight. We are fuddling here and fuddling there.
You normally have a warm drink around a fire.
Yes.
In northern England.
This one is written by a friend of mine in Sheffield, a wonderful poet called Matt Black, and the music is by Darrel. And when he sent the music to Matt, he was delighted that Louise of Sheffield is here in Austin, Texas tonight. May the fuddle be with you. Okay. A long pass across fields, these last days and puddles. Wear big smiles and scarves and head off to fuddles. From swaddling coat to blossom, to the old year untroubled. Raise your glasses, share stories, and let's all get fuddled. Let's get fuddled. Let's get fuddled. Truly fuddled. Now dark days are here, and the weeks are a muddle. Call on friends, have a laugh, may your hearts feel the fuddle. In bars, offices, homes, forget bills, dentists and struggle. Bring good toffees and Vimto, and together we'll fuddle. Let's get fuddle, fuddle. Let's get fuddle. Truly fuddle. Drop by for an hour. Say hi, have a quick huddle. Time's a thief, and now as always, a great time for a fuddle. From Buxton to Bolsover, where'er your roads have wobbled, lift your glasses, eat some cake, and get happily fuddled. Let's get fuddled! Let's get fuddled! Truly fuddled! Let's get fuddled! Oh, get that. Let's get fuddled! Wassail, everybody! Wassail!
Thank you, Thom.
Thank you, Darrel. That's next Sunday, 5:30 at the Scottish Rite Theatre, and it's really worthwhile. So now the mic is yours. You know, this is your time. This is why you should be up here now. Not just listening to me. I'm finished. That was it. We did that. You know? But it's your time. Come on. Come on. 2 mics. Don't look so distressed. It's perfectly illegal until they realise what we're saying. You know, happiness now, happiness and colourful people. What's going on here? I call it poetry, but I won't. Please steal a mic. There's 2 mics actually. So up to you. Come on. Oh, you want to be announced? I have to do the job of announcing. Who would like to? Are you ready, Herman?
I'm always ready.
Okay. Herman Nelson, amazing soul, patient soul, here he is. Herman rising to the occasion. We're almost rising to the occasion. Herman in the house, yeah!
There's a man.
Perfect, fine. There we go.
Hello, hello, hello. Joy to the world, the lady comes. Let earth receive her queen. There's 2 sides to every story. King can be a hazard. Visions of a younger age. I wrote this because it was cold out today. It's brisk outside today, cold and winter gray comes to middle Texas, like fall in Illinois when I was just a boy awaiting Christmas. Leaves, colorful and bright, hung dead but holding tight. Soon leaves and snow will fall. I checked the runners on my sled for where some recent rust had bled, and sand them long and well. Last year's skates, too small. I couldn't put them on at all, no matter how I tried. I willed the earth turn overnight while I'm asleep to crystal bright white. Then I'd run and skip and slide. I shake my head and sigh. A dream of days gone by in autumn Illinois. But Texas is my chosen home, and here my life is mostly warm. That cold is for that boy. Nostalgia is but that, But here and now is where it's at and where it should ever be. Those frigid days were for the child, when he was strong and loose and wild, but alas, he's not me. Today is December the 7th. This is the day that Pearl Harbor was bombed. My mother had two brothers stationed at Pearl Harbor. And when we got the news, she was very frantic. Fortunately, they were out on the town. They had gotten a pass, so they didn't end up with their ships. You know, the poppy gives us opium, which gives us morphine. And morphine is named after the god Morpheus, the god of dreams, whose father was hypnosis. So the poppy is in certain fields around where soldiers lie. Red as in blood, poppies. How appropriate that opiate bloom in Flanders field. Red as blood their buried soldiers bled in that first war to end all wars. Beneath their names in quiet rest they lie beyond the reach of time. By some it's said they wait for some grave day when God alone will judge their final fate. Pink-cheeked children went to war before a hint of whiskers grew. So young, immortal still, they felt small fear of vague tomorrows they might never tread. They'll never learn the grip of time that dries the skin and warps the mind. They've learned the putrid stench of death, the taste of mud and dust, each season's sting. Not every hell is found below. Man's foulest hell is found above, where prairie farms grow ripe with golden grain, and rainbows shine like flame, and poppies bloom. I saw a video on the mountain goats of Wales, and I was utterly amazed at these creatures that have no hands and climb like acrobats. Mountain goats. Life in and on Wales' craggy hills. Goats graze pockets of green between the bluffs of jagged rocks on rope narrow tiers. They run and hop and skip, defying gravity and death. Split hooves hold to holes better than hands. Sure-footed they step to life's edge without fear. On vertical walls few men would ever dare. Big Papa Goat, humped back like a peddler with a pack, leads his family up into and beyond the clouds his large crescent moon horns trumpet, he is king and without peer. When he is gone, his sons will take the lead. Life on Wales' craggy hills will continue ever as it has ever been. Thank you.
I'm also very grateful that you honored the Festive Seasons.
Thank you.
You do. I think I see Ben Franklin. Can anyone see Ben Franklin? I think I see Ben Franklin. I think he's
Hello,
got a surprise.
Hey, Ben.
Second father of our country.
Wireless mics gives you a little more flexibility. This one's called Festive Seasoning. Look all around you. Share your festive smile, then shake those hands to bless others in glad tidings, bearing season's greetings. As we start to end one year, to blossom forth another new year. Let us give thanks upon a winter solstice, where the sun at noon will be at its lowest altitude, where we create that harmony to raise the antitapes, address peaceful overtures. For we are so much about a community that I'm not even looking at my words right now, because we are poets, songwriters, musicians, artists, and just creators that make this whole world so much better. That each one of us has a different attribute, that when we all get together, we create the chemistry. That chemistry is called communication. That upon a solstice, a phoenix spark shall raise poetry upon poetic inflamed tongues, where each poet's universe of individuality will shout out aloud within inner strength, in pure conviction, in that true grit that bears festive seasoning. And I want to thank everybody here for making my stay since April so blessed. Christine, Christmas, peace de los stones. Crispal snow blankets upon soft tranquil harmony. Brisk fresh air breeze wisp upon countryside Christmas time. Among quiet reflection merging heartbeats adrift, nature's thrill harmonics. The biorhythmic chill composition that bears poetry's rhyme. Seasoning, sharing, celestial, cerebral, riding wing inflections. Thermal, cool, chill, setting of soul, fireplace, mind ablaze. Embers sparking aloft, sailing sound, blazing on poetic trail lines. Snaps upon crackling breeze bounds, bearing dimensional verse. Dwelling heart of poetry's girth, spectrum dynamics that amazes the genuine reflection of humanity. By being blessed, richly enshrined. Surrounded by the miracle of creation, blossoming within universe. Neo-poet in the prayers of inner faith, within spirited inspiration, wherein tempo words alliterate a light snowflake swirling dances, orchestrate a magical Christmas time symphony aura, of poetic cadences. Where Snow Angel musicals harmonize the soul's sensual ephemeration, we are God's gifted seedlings that must blossom forth to enhance our unique personas in individual fruition bearing personalities' credences. Arise within the baptismal spring, cleansing spirit of poetic validation. Inflect the nails in pure depth where words stick out diverse meanings, that frigid, flexible, immovable, movable, abstract complexity of dexterity that spreads the quill in every direction. Within comprehension, dedication, that hurts so deep one wants to cry, then laugh aloud another meaning. To freeze imagery brittle within bone-shattering sound shards of severity. Jovial, each edge then cuts a swath of trails less taken in livid germination. Oh God, we are poets that write winds, needing personal poetic redemption. We are never perfect, pristine roses, but these imperfect, broad-minded gems, wildflowers of uniqueness weathering winter, in poetic blanket aggregation of patchwork quilts sewn together in countryside Christmas time collections, radiating the world in a poetic cream de la cream, tranquil peace de la resistance. Thank you.
Well. Aren't we lucky? Yeah. Let me introduce you. Next poet is like Herman, one of the founders of the Austin National Poetry Festival, which is on April 1st to the 3rd during National Poetry Month. Like Herman, keeps a venue going, Barnes & Noble. Like Herman, well published, well performed, and totally original. He has got seasonal poems about the festive seasons. I'm off now, but he's coming on. This is John Berry.
Thom, I figured to do 3 poems and 2 carols.
Good luck. Go for it.
Okay, good. My father was born on the 6th of December in 1896 and lived to the age of 91. He died on May 5th of 1987. My father's face. My father's face, when last I saw him dead, looked much the same. The hearty tan bleached yellow, ears purple with a stagnant darkened blood, the silence that he heard no deeper than the deafness that began before my birth. He traveled long, although a farmer's son, and like Candide, he made his garden grow. He had the most appalling taste in quotes and fixed you with them like the wedding guest, and he'd have liked these literary lines. But now I know I never knew the man who met the world in monologue and print, although we lived together 18 years. I can't know how he felt inhabiting a universe that stopped at skin and eye. I fought so hard to make my own mistakes. He preached so long to stop me making his. We never told our likeness who we were. I tried to be a wholly different man and failed, and take strange comfort in that now. We ate your last tomatoes, they were good. Your fig trees mourned, but set an ample crop. Your spinach sends out runners hunting you. You will not be forgotten while I see and every morning shave my father's face. He was my physical father, but in many ways Richard Feynman was the father of my mind. He was a magician. When I met the magician,
Richard Feynman conjured up reality, planets of swirling gas more wonderful than gods. He reveled in each paradox of quantum world, where things to be discrete have always to be seen, and drummed by 12 beats one hand, 13 by the other. He said he'd been a child who played with different toys. His first home reeked with burnt wax, melted wireless parts. His father taught him, don't respect authority. He said, I sell their uniforms. I sell them empty. Learn all the names that bird has you've learned of men, his dad said. You must watch the bird to learn the bird. So Feynman's mind contained a different set of tools. Trinity was a dawn you saw with more than eyes. A mushroom bursting sky saved many us and them. But Feynman wished years afterwards he doubted more. We all, like him, invent the legend of ourselves. In downtown Rio, paper costumed as a Greek, he marched with toy tin skillet, drummed it with a lilt, a member of a porter's winning samba school. Though Feynman's polished stories smelled of elbow grease, they entertained and formed a mask that matched his face. What can be taught in words, defined by other words, is never science, knowledge, wisdom. He told Brazilians, nature can't be fooled. Great was the fall when challengers rose of death bloomed high, and Feynman spent his fading life to show the O-ring failed because the fat cats fooled themselves. Genius product seen, we're sure we see the source. Our minds, if they worked well enough, could do it too. Feynman was a wizard. His portrait shows him so, painted in the costume of a shaman priest. Those he worked with, ordinary geniuses, who grasped his theories best, most wondered how they came. The fire of genius by age 30 burns away if certainty and loss of play don't snuff it first. In immaturity, the world and we are magic. We stretch for mystery just beyond our reach. The child's eye kept lifelong proves mystery always there. How magic works is lack of fear of being wrong. My poetic father is Robert Graves, who died in the month of December in 1985. This quote from one of his poems, in a way, not exactly. Spared October, spared November at his intercession, the crone took the year in December. As the year died, as the sun died, as the light died, the poet intercessor died. He is too large for any single tomb. Cut out in stars would make the light too bright. Rather repose him in some tall oak top, that all the feathered poets clean his bones, that all the singing world may be his grave. Then flutes be made of all his hollowed bones, that never shall his voice be stilled. Or none of these, his voice is no less loud, while still his words bring hearts to praise of her. Not for glory, goddess, for our need, bring forth more bards whose praise is yours indeed. Greet the Gifts is a solstice carol that I wrote words and music for many years ago. I was living in Austin still, so it must have been in the 70s. maybe the 80s. Read the gifts the goddess brings, sing the carols, dance the rings, dark ending of the year to some. We give thanks for light to come. Sing the carols, dance the rings, greet the gifts the goddess brings, nature's source by death and birth. We praise your names around the earth. This longest night the sun is reborn, with evergreen the house adorned. Light and cheer to friends dispense, bless the birth of innocence. With evergreen the house adorned, this longest night the sun's reborn, nature's source by death and birth. We praise your names around the earth. Sacred symbols manifold, yours and ours from times untold. Holly, pine, and mistletoe, hearth fires warm and candles glow. Yours and ours from times untold. Sacred symbols manifold, nature's source by death and birth. We praise your names around the earth. Those are the verses the goddess whispered in my ear. The other one I wrote in McGill. But I've got a new solstice joke. I did not write the tune, I rescued it. Folk musicians are famous for doing that. They'll write words after words of different songs to the same tune, each different folk poet. And this I set out to rescue Silent Night from the 25th of December. And on the 21st of December, which is this Saturday, the First Unitarian Church will be celebrating the solstice, and will do not only greet the gifts, but also, I believe, the solstice night. So let's see if I can manage to do this one. Solstice night, darkest night, longest wait till the light. Praise the maiden, mother and crone. They are ours, and we are their own. Reverenced all over the earth, giver of death and rebirth. Solstice night, deepest night, spiral spin till sunset. Old sun dies by this holy morn. By earth's grace the new one is born. Source of all brilliance and worth, singer of sorrow and mirth. Solstice night, darkest night. Dance the ring till dawn is bright. Moon is full to guide our heart. Merry meet and merry part. Merry meet again, and still as it always has been. Solstice night, queen of nights, mother of all darks and lights, single source of harvest and earth, all the contrasts that cover your earth. Help us create, not destroy. Bring us back to your joy.
How do you pray? Nelson Mandela, when he was made head of South Africa, had two poets praising him. At presidential inauguration, they only have one, and none for Bush, because he didn't understand what poetry was. But we have a person who's going to perform next, who is a playwright, a poet, a performer, and a host of two venues. One is a Maria's Taco Express on Tuesdays. The other is Recycle Reads. Both of these are relatively new venues, but they are exquisitely gentle venues. And they're largely because of the character and demeanor of wonderful Louise, Gail, Richardson.
Thank you. I can die now. It's wonderful. Well, this one is hot off the presses. That's what I was writing over there all this time. How many people have ever been to see the 37th Street lights in Austin? You remember them?
Yeah, sure.
They're gone now. I went there the other night, and they're not even trying anymore. There was 1 yard with regular Christmas decorations, and it was over. So this is my poem. I found an ironic angel on 37th Street. I found an ironic angel on 37th Street at Christmas tide not long ago. I wasn't looking for an angel. I usually disdain Mesopotamian mythological beings, but it was filled with light and illuminated its share of fence and shrub and sidewalk from the dark. I missed the holidays on 37th Street and returned there each solstice just to see if the neighbors on that block between Cedar Street and Guadalupe have had the wherewithal to deck their houses and yards and lawns with the most non-Christmassy paraphernalia in Christendom, Jewry, or Islam. It was a tour much fresher than the Trail of Lights, lost on the dreary carload of gawkers just driving through. You had to get out and walk to appreciate the pure creativity and artistry shed on each house on that brilliant block, metastasized to the connected Cedar Street. Front yards were festooned with the choicest kitsch, from porch to tree to driveway. A motorcycle might be bound in luminance. A Halloween skeleton might wear a Santa cap. A toilet seat might serve as a decorous wreath. And a cross-street necklace might shine from telephone pole to pole. The house in the middle on the north side was where the tradition got its start. You could tour the property fore to aft, circling the merry dwelling. Not a religious or commercial icon would you find on the blinking wall displays set off by black tarp siding, but there would be cactus Christmas bulbs and those of cowboy boots and pill bottles glowing from within. Their electricity meter spun like a compact disc, while a plastic pail begged, "Please donate for utilities." The couple in the house where the 37th Street light began moved away, and the tradition began its slow decline. I visited there the other day. The clever pagan fringe element was gone. One solitary suburban frontage showed the usual Santa and reindeer set from Just Anywhere USA. And there was no ironic angel on 37th Street. Well, I'm being cold weather lately. I made some Texas chili, the last of which is out there for you to put on your tamales if you like. And I wrote this about Texas chili, C-H-I-L-L-Y. Gotta make a big pot of chili con carne. Some Texas chili for a very chilly Texas day. Sear ground beef or turkey or no meat at all. Add tomato paste and sauce, water, salt, cumin, oregano, minced onions, a scoop of chili powder, a little garlic powder. Not forgetting a good measure of paprika. Later, a tablespoon of masa, maybe salsa, and what have you at hand from the fridge. Vinegar, pickle brine, refried and kidney beans. Your favorite cheese grated, scallions chopped up. Let simmer in a crock pot for hours and stir often. Finally, garnish with shredded cheddar or Colby. Make it as spicy as you like or can stand. Ring with Texas-shaped tortilla chips afloat, or Colorado shape if you like rectangles. Cool some, freeze some, enjoy for a week. It tastes better with each successive meal. Do they like chili in the nation of Chile or just sea bass? No. They might like it. Their flag looks like the Texas flag. And chili is chili, more than we would imagine. And if they get chili, they should get chili. It will warm the cockles of their Chilean hearts.
I was talking hosts, and we have in this room a plethora of poetry hosts, people who keep the circles alive, and I do mean they put energy in so that things can continue, including the wonderful Scott who does it on the virtual, whatever it's called, the inter something or other. But we have a place called New World Deli, which is a friend to poets and musicians for at least the last decade. And basically the couple keep it going because, you know, the double helix DNA, it takes two to tango. And these are the two who tango, Linda Marie Cossa and Gordon McGill. How about that?
The endarkenment. Born again dreaming the longest night, hunting for light, finding ocean inside. Deep-seated in dark corner of heart, winter reveals endarkenment's part. That key remembering soul's delight, how and why humanity was meant to be, spark of nature's enlightenment harmony. Seasons, visionary stars brightly, enlivens solstice of our psyches, hunting for light, finding ocean inside, born again dreaming the longest night. This is called sacred symmetry. Finding the I am in the aftershock. I saw grass growing from rubble and rock. The I am being, longing to becoming sacred symmetry, mindful, gracefully receiving perception, bridge of linking, a kindred connection, cerebral hemisphere, calming those frightful fears, brain waves, light reflective, feeling, thinking, holistic. That I am child shall cross arms over heart. Crossing arms over heart keeps body-mind from falling apart. That I am grown-up conception of hope senses the richness I am to witness. A teardrop takes the shape of receiver river or lake. Tears transform new form when they fall into a leaf or cup of tea. Becoming sacred symmetry. Finding the I am in the aftershock, I saw grass growing from rubble and rock. And the next couple poems I wrote last year but I was too sick to come and read them. So I shall read them this year, and I feel grateful that I do not have as bad of a cold. So, thanks to tea tree oil, right?
To save your tree.
Yes. This is called A Truce in the Trenches. Christmas Eve, 1914. The letters in silent and listen share the same soft constituency. Heart listening rites of silence under western sky one eve's night. Hardened warfathers disapproved, but young soldiers declared a truce in the trenches, false boundaries, by singing momentarily. Child within one of the other speaks peace, embracing one's brother. Those silenced guns spared the rod, lowered eyes and most gentle of nods, soft sounds mirrored the face of God. Affirmation strums hum of a drum, star so bright, direct source of light beam. I still feel this scene from 1914, a century that changed the world's frequency. Now, each year, a hope of Christmas consistency, remembering birth of calm spirits bright, silent night, holy night, lullaby, those young ones trying to make things right, heart listening rites of silence under western sky one eve's night, a truce in the trenches, Christmas Eve, 1914. More fun. Winter solstice. Lessening of the light reveals sweet dreams or fright. The endarkenment embraced restores enlightenment space. Touchstone road to atonement. Death begins this very moment. Demise of one thing brings dawning of some other, as one line of poetry leads to another. Inner conviction, cried the hermit, waving his hands. Cycles of awakening, whispered the night watchman. Truth said, yes, yes, as long as you are garbed in humility and simplicity. Humility and simplicity, those acrobats dangling from thread of fate. And 1 foot from the grave is heaven's gate. Up from the underworld spring will come, sometimes early, sometimes late. Dark ebony feels like a slow time lapse as universe expands beyond our grasp. When night crawls longer, each day grows shorter, blurring, stretching our personal borders. And darkenment out there and in here, this most transformational, blackest beauty time of year. This poem is about how light through the years has come to me in my darkest hour. And my first memory of this was when I was 3 years old. So it kind of goes back in time. The ever-changing face of light. Featherweight light of day. Children, old ones, grass, ground, trees, particles at play. Gleam streams through thin white, breeze-driven cotton curtains. Sunbeam unburdens. Cathedral tree place, golden rays pour on blue shade, birthing emerald green jade. Lamplight, lantern sways, small boat on lake oscillates. Moonlight walks on water. Inner eternal flame can never be desecrated, hearth consecrated. Torn gray drapery unveils a bird-like cross shape. High noon, searchlight. Solstice angel heals a sick Christmas child of 3. Starlights on pine tree. illumination, lines, no lines of demarcation, lucid candelas. Rainbow prismatic, impressionistic, mystic, light, the oldest of deities. And then I'd like to invite Gordon, the mistletoe, to join me in a poem. And we have costumes.
Whoa!
Giving it away, they don't know. You want to do it up here?
You're in the shadow.
We have to bring this up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. She looks like a Christmas card.
We're ornaments,
Okay.
Christmas ornaments. Oh, don't tell them. Well.
You're supposed to guess.
Oh, well, okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Ho,
Ho, ho, ho, who wouldn't know? Holly and mistletoe. Winter solstice adornments, lively Christmas ornaments. What a sapling, what a seedling, evergreening. Please hang us on your Yuletide tree this season. Shadows fertile, deep and dark. Each of us playing our part. Creative, intuitive, transforms all the negative, and darkenment brings in the light. On the richest and longest night, reborn of the same divine tree, rebirth branches humanity. Ho, 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 who wouldn't know? Holly and mistletoe. Winter solstice adornments, lively Christmas ornaments. What a sapling, what a seedling, evergreening. Please hang us on your Yuletide tree this season.
By the way, Linda Marie made those ornament hats. She's never-endingly creative. Never-endingly creative. And the best poet I've ever heard. A few offerings by me. This is called At the Traffic Light. This cruel weather by any measure is a good time for match, log, and fireplace to meet.
Yeah.
But for a long sojourn on the street where freezing winds blow on your seat. But not for a long sojourn on the street where freezing winds blow on your seat. One fellow today kept his outpost at the traffic light where the shoppers stop. Too cold to move, to gather in the few dollars handed to him. I could tell by his eyes that he knew well the difference that 10 degrees demands between his ability to move his hands and simply being as cold as hell. His eyes caught mine in brief askance, he thinking of the warmth within my car. I thinking of the times past so far when hitchhiking I had prayed for a chance to ride in some warm seat of car or cab of truck while a snowstorm swept the highway and headlights seemed like angels' lights rescuing me from the freezing muck. The light changes to green, and on I go. This poem is dedicated to Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. All right.
It's called Gratitude. I have gratitude for all the babies born every second of the year, skins all colors of the rainbow. When they arrive, we forget all bigotry and hate, and the world is innocent once again. I have gratitude for every friend I've ever known who has taken a little time, or a lot, to walk and talk with me and listen with their whole heart, setting their preoccupations aside to allow me to be human. I have gratitude for all those whom I have disliked or hated in the dungeon of my heart, for they have taken me to the hall of mirrors. There I have seen my own hatefulness and spite reflected to my face, and where I have been asked to give and receive forgiveness. I have gratitude for those who face death and who die every second of the year, for they remind me that I am not alone in facing that lonely road, and that multitudes await my arrival in a place I've never known. I have gratitude for this dying time of year, as the trees stretch out their bony arms and fingers, letting go their leaves into the biting winds, and every small creature that searches for comfort and warmth, even we, are reminded of our fragility. I have gratitude for those who stand and fight, for causes and rights they may not win, never knowing if after they are arrested or dead, what might become of their families or future, who surrender their fear into the arms of faith and lay down the burden of cowardice for us all. And now, with your permission, I'd like to read something from tradition. He was one of the greatest writers of the 19th century, and just celebrated his 200th birthday.
Charles Dickens.
Amen. So this is a little excerpt from one of his best-known A Christmas Carol. They stood in the city streets on Christmas morning, where, for the weather was severe, the people made a rough but brisk and not unpleasant kind of music in scraping the snow from the pavement in front of their dwellings and from the tops of their houses, whence it was mad delight to the boys to see it come plumping down into the road below and splitting into artificial little snowstorms. The house fronts looked black enough, and the windows blacker, contrasting with the smooth white sheet of snow upon the roofs and with the dirtier snow upon the ground, which last deposit had been plowed up in steep furrows that crossed and recrossed each other hundreds of times, where the great streets branched off and made intricate channels hard to trace in the thick yellow mud and icy water. The sky was gloomy, and the shortest streets were choked up with a dingy mist, half thawed, half frozen, whose heavier particles descended in a shower of sooty atoms, as if all the chimneys in Great Britain had, by one consent, caught fire, and were blazing away to their dear hearts' content. There was nothing very cheerful in the climate or the town, and yet there was an air of cheerfulness abroad that the clearest summer air and brightest summer sun might have endeavored to diffuse in vain. For the people who were shoveling away on the housetops were jovial and full of glee, calling out one to one another from the parapets, and now and then exchanging a facetious snowball, better-natured missile far than many a wordy jest, laughing heartily if it went right, and not less heartily if it went wrong. The poulterers' shops were still half open, and the fruiterers were radiant in their glory. There were great, round, pot-bellied baskets of chestnuts, shaped like the waistcoats of jolly old gentlemen, lolling at the doors and tumbling out into the street in their apoplectic opulence. There were ruddy, brown-faced, broad-girthed Spanish onions, shining in the fatness of their growth like Spanish friars, and winking from their shelves in wanton slyness at the girls as they went by, and glanced demurely at the hung-up mistletoe. There were pears and apples clustered high in blooming pyramids. There were bunches of grapes made in the shopkeeper's benevolence to dangle from conspicuous hooks, that people's mouths might water gratis as they passed. There were piles of filberts, mossy and brown, recalling in their fragrance ancient walks among the woods and pleasant shufflings ankle-deep through withered leaves. There were Norfolk biffins, squab and swarthy, setting off the yellow of the oranges and lemons, and in the great compactness of their juicy persons, urgently entreating and beseeching to be carried home in paper bags and eaten after dinner. The very gold and silver fish set forth among these choice fruits in a bowl, though members of a dull and stagnant-blooded race, appeared to know that there was something going on, and to a fish went gasping round and round their little world in slow and passionless excitement. The grocer! Oh, the grocers! Nearly closed, with perhaps 2 shutters down, or 1, but through those gaps, such glimpses. It was not alone that the scales descending on the counter made a merry sound, or that the twine and roller parted company so briskly, snap, snap, or that the canisters were rattled up and down like juggling tricks, or even that the blended scents of tea and coffee were so grateful to the nose, or even that the raisins were so plentiful and rare, the almonds so extremely white, the sticks of cinnamon so long and straight, the other spices so delicious, the candied fruit so caked and spotted with molten sugar as to make the coldest looker-on feel faint and subsequently bilious. Nor was it that the figs were moist and plump, or that the French plums blushed in modest tartness from their highly decorated boxes, or that everything was good to eat and in its Christmas dress, but that the customers were all so hurried and so eager in the hopeful promise of the day that they tumbled up against each other at the door, crashing their wicker baskets wildly, and left their purchases upon the counter, and came running back to fetch them, and committed hundreds of the like mistakes in the best humor possible, while the grocer and his people were so frank and fresh that the polished hearts with which they fastened their aprons might have been their own, worn outside for general inspection, and for Christmas doors to peck at if they chose. But soon the steeples called good people all to church and chapel, and away they came, flocking through the streets in their best clothes and with their gayest faces. And at the same time there emerged from scores of by-streets, lanes, and nameless turnings innumerable people carrying their dinners to the bakers' shops. The sight of these poor revelers appeared to interest the spirit very much, for he stood with Scrooge beside him at a baker's doorway, and taking off the covers as their bearers passed, sprinkled incense on their dinners from his torch. And it was a very uncommon kind of torch, for once or twice when there were angry words between some dinner carriers who had jostled each other, he shed a few drops of water on them from it, and their good humor was restored directly. For they said it was a shame to quarrel upon Christmas Day. And so it was. God love it, so it was.
McGill, Christmas Carol.
Thanks for your patience.
And it happened only not so long ago. At the New World Deli, we were celebrating the birthday season. The poetry tribe came to the music tribe. There was Gordon McGill, there was Linda Marie Cossa, there was Magic Jack, there was Ben Franklin, and they were gathered to celebrate the next performer who keeps Round Rock levitating, who has the most magical open mic that you could ever see. You come in, you're welcome. Come on stage, you're welcome. You're coming in here, come on up, you're welcome. So welcome, Ron Kewen.
Hey, Ron, yeah.
Thank you.
Quiet winter day down at the city hall. In a red suit he approached the plaza wall. With a piece of dangerous chalk wrote some bad words on the walk. Words like love and peace and happiness to all. Santa Claus, he got arrested in Austin. Public sensibilities he was accosting. 'Cause he went and made a stink. Now he's locked up in the clink. Love and peace will have to wait until next year. The police chief and his goons turned out looking like buffoons, wrestling harmless old Saint Nick onto the ground. Did enforcers of the laws envy good old Santa Claus, jealous of the nicer jackboots that he found? Santa Claus, he got arrested in Austin. Public sensibilities he was accosting. 'Cause he went and made a stink. Now he's locked up in the clink. Love and peace will have to wait until next year. Well, you better ask yourself, if they grab that jolly elf, what excuses do they need for you and me? In the city of the weird, even with the big white beard, you're cruising for a bruising with offensive words like peace. Santa Claus, he got arrested in Austin. His public sensibilities he was accosting. 'Cause he went and made a stink. Now he's locked up in the clink. Love and peace will have to wait until next year. Love and peace will have to wait until next year. Yeah, that poor guy. I think he's out now. I try to sing that song to people whenever I can, because I think it needs to be, that story needs to be remembered. Chalk, getting arrested for chalk. You can see we have an enthusiastic police force. Like their jobs. Well, I wrote this song of encouragement for the holidays because I needed it. I'm living on the edge of your dismissal. Your epistles point at me like nuclear missiles. You are wanting to destroy me at the least irreverence. But the guidance systems fail. Now you're left without defense. Well, I thought you were my brother, but it's clear you love another who's taken all your heart and all your head. If that's what it will take to make you happy, I've already paid the costs of living on the edge. I'm living on the edge of your derision. Your blindness must account for all your hurtful decisions, and you wonder how non-believers can get through their dreadful lives without the God insurance with its love-reducing lies. Well, I thought you were my friend, but it's conditional at best. I understand, 'cause I used to be like you. There's pain involved in finding your new freedom. Pay whatever it will cost for living on the edge. I'm living on the edge of your devotion. I can't measure up with permanent demotions. If words don't kill me, all your silence will just do just as well. You'd like to see me burn there, but I'm already in hell. Well, I thought you were the same as me, a dirty sinner too. You'll be surprised to realize I'm the one with good news. If true, that truth cannot be found, you've gotta live life now. It's always worth the cost to be living on the edge. I was trying to end on a funny song. I stole these from Rudolph.
You have two mics up there.
Oh, this one.
Well,
no,
yeah,
no,
you can.
Right here.
Oh,
on the pedestal.
Oh, on the pedestal. Right.
You can join along with me if you. I mean, if you. I don't know if you've heard the song. It's on my website.
Oh.
Many songs, but.
The man has written over 380 songs.
In 3 years.
In 3 years.
Wow.
And I get a lot of inspiration from you guys, so keep it going. We wrote 2 songs together.
We did.
So,
indeed.
I mean, do the bells, you know, and then if you feel like singing, just think.
Okay.
This is one of my newer Christmas songs from this year. Can you see it all right?
Yeah.
All right. So, good old Santa. I write a lot of Santa songs. I write a lot of kids songs. Oh, this Friday, I'll be playing at New World Deli, my 2-hour show, my first time at New World Deli. So Friday at 7, I'll be there. Thank you. All right, let's see what we got here. There you go. I woke up Christmas morning and hurried down to see the cookies I left Santa had been munched so merrily. That's good. But all the cookies in the house were gone, just empty shelves. He must have taken all of them and shared with all his elves. Santa scarf my cookies, Santa scarf my cookies, my cookies he has tooken when nobody was looking. You might think there's no Santa Claus, but I give him my belief. That tub of lard's a big fat cookie thief. I'm gonna make a wanted poster of that Santa Claus, because he's gone and broken all the children's cookie laws. No cookies here on Christmas Day, my cookie dreams are hosed. I can't go out and buy some more, cause all the stores are closed. Santa scarf my cookies, Santa scarf my cookies, my cookies he has tooken when nobody was looking. You might think there's no Santa Claus, but I give him my belief. That tub of lard's a big fat cookie thief. Oh, next year I will make a sign and place it in my yard. There ain't no cookies here for you, there are no cookie jars. We don't need no more presents, so don't come in my house. Turn Rudolph's nose around and head on back to the North Pole. Santa scarf my cookies, Santa scarf my cookies, my cookies he has tooken when nobody was looking. You might think there's no Santa Claus, but I give him my belief. That tub of lard's a big fat cookie thief. Oh. I went into my sister's room to try and clear my head. There's chocolate chip stains on her teeth and crumbs under her bed. My sister scarfed my cookies, my sister scarfed my cookies, my cookies she has tooken when nobody was looking. Apologies to Santa, and please accept my grief. My sister is the big fat cookie thief. My sister is the big fat cookie thief.
I love the visual effects. This is just real. This is real. This is the way life should be. You don't know what's going to happen next, and neither do we. That's a beautiful part. But I can tell you what's happening next Friday. It is part of the show. You're all part of the show. Don't you realise this? There's no audience for poetry. Everyone's an actor. Everyone's a participant. You're all pieces of the giant jigsaw puzzle. It only makes sense we're all together. Which leads me to next Friday. One of the hosts for Maria's Taco Express on Tuesday also has an incredible festival, and it's called Peace Wave. The first one, was at the Doherty Arts Centre, and the Peace Wave, which has a proclamation from the City Council of Austin, authorising, you shall be peaceful. It's legal, and that was so good, the last year, doing it again. Next Friday, starting at 11 o'clock, isn't it 11 o'clock? 11 a.m.? This is something you've got to, this is fantastic. So Anyah will tell you more. Anyah, poet, musician, visionary, great person. Here she is.
Thank you so much. And I think this is okay. And I have a badge on right now. Before I get to the Osmic thing. I was very honored today, very privileged to be a judge at a robotics festival today, and it was a competition with middle schoolers. The first, it was the second year for me. The first time I've experienced it in Dripping Springs. And so the whole Osmic and Awesome and Cosmic movement in Austin, or in the whole world, is to empower people to go back to being creative. And to use their mind, engage cultural arts and education as a means of promoting peace. It's peace building. And so to be in this school, this high school today, and have the moms and the dads and the teachers and volunteers from everywhere, this is a national organization. And so to see these children pull together what they had to pull together, they worked with the city council, and they would work with the fire department, and they were putting together a solution for nature disasters. And so I was so empowered with that. They can take these to the corporations, they can take these ideas, and already the electric company is going to employ some of these things.
Whoa, yeah.
Wow.
You know, so I'm saying these are middle schools, they have hope for the future. They are the future. So I'm saying let's give them a little backing here. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that, and that's a part of this OSMIC movement. And the Peace Wave at Peace Park, I thought that was pretty cool. That just opened up because we didn't know if we could get the park because of the Barton Springs, you know, Christmas tree Trail of Life. And so it opened up, and they said, hey, do you want the Peace Park? I said, yes. So it's been thrown together really quickly, and that's okay. The universe opened up. So on 12/13/13 this year, Friday the 13th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., we're having Peace Wave at Peace Park. And it is promoting peace and prosperity through cultural arts and education. So we'll have poetry, music, and we will have some art. It'll be at Peace Park. And it's a family atmosphere. Everyone is welcome to come. You can bring your picnic to eat there if that's what you want. And so it's a free event, and it's in the public. And so we will have Linda Marie Cossa, Gordon McGill, Louise Richardson, Tara Condro, who is new, Thom the World Poet, Nancy Firestein, Philip Abbott, David Lister Young, Anyah, and we will have music features, Michelle Stewart, Peggy Wright, Claudine Meinhardt, Carlos Cedilla has signed on, and we might have some room available for some of the musicians. So I'm not saying don't show up if if you want to play or be a part of the music. It's probably going to be possible. It moves pretty fast. And this is our second year for the OSMIC City Austin, Texas Day. Last year was 12-12-12. And so the proclamation came very easy this year. They know that we're here to promote peace. So anyway, that's the plug for that. And we also will have OSMIC City Cafe in Dripping Springs December the 20th. It'll be on Saturday, and it'll be Christmas dinner, and it'll be outdoors with campfire. So that is on. And I was looking through the other day and thinking how much we need each other and how much humanity now is pulling together more than ever, and that we are collaborating and that we are working as a team. It's prevalent in so many projects now. Leadership is now being distributed. Everybody is coming up and stepping up. They're even changing the psychological behavioral model that they're presenting to corporations. So I just see this great movement forward, and I ran across this Townes Van Zandt song, and I know all of you know it, and I don't believe anyone can sing it like he sings it. And so without guitar, I'm going to hum it because that's what I wanted to do, and it just really is a beautiful song to me. Okay. And I watched his video presentation of it as he sang it. It's totally awesome. And he sang, "If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me and ease my pain? And if you needed me, I would come to you. I would swim the seas for to ease your pain. And oh, if I needed you, and oh, if you needed me, and oh, would you come to me? And oh, I would swim the seas. In the night forlorn, the morning's born, and the morning shines with the lights of love." He said, "You will miss sunrise if you close your eyes, and that would break his heart in two. And oh, if I needed you, and oh, if you needed me, and oh, would you come to me? And oh, I would in the sea. The lady's with him now, since he showed her how to lay her lily hand in his so fine. Loop and Lil agreed she was a sight to see, and a treasure for the poor to find. And oh, if I needed you, and oh, if you needed me, if you needed me, I would come to you. I'd swim the seas for to ease your pain. And this one is pertaining to the children, and I have presented this before. It's called Step to the Drums of the Children. The times they are changing, the winds blow strong. Our minds are awakening to the sound of the children's song. Oh, the grip of despair is loosening from the hearts of men, the women, and the children who have more than done their part. Oh, the time is coming fast, and the time is coming soon, when human will pass beyond the daggers of the sun. Take the reins in your hands. Stand firmly on the stone. The times, they are changing. Can you feel it in your bones? Take a look around you and see who is there. They who dare step beside you are the ones who truly care. The future is upon us. The future is now. We are beings of truthfulness. For this we give a bow. And grace will be bestowed to those who humbly receive. With hearts open to trust, with humility, they'll believe. Oh, peace comes with a price many have paid for. And now comes the time when war is no more. The rule of the sun is over. The rule of the moon has begun. Lay down your arms of anger. Peace has begun. Peace has won. Oh, the world needs us now to be strong in this land, and to step to the drums of the children who walk with peace hand in hand. Oh, we can make these lands blossom and flower and grow. United we can stand in peace as the children show, hand in hand with peace as the children show. And this one has to do with drums, and I know you all know the words. You can sing with me, The Little Drummer Boy. Remember that one? Okay. Come, they told me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, to lay before the king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, when we come, little baby, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, I am a poor boy too, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, I have no gift to bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, that's fit to give our king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Shall I play for you, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, on my drum? Mary nodded, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. The ox and lamb kept time, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I played my drum for him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I played my best for him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum,
rum-pa-pum-pum. Then he smiled at me, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. Me and my drum, me and my drum, me and my drum.
You want to have a break? Oh, it looks like we're going to have a break and then come back. Okay, so eat and drink and be merry, and then come back soon. We got Scott, we got Birdman, we got incredible people. First, eat, drink and be merry. Mary, don't mind. Once upon a time, I went to the University of La Trobe in Bandura because I heard there was a circular theatre there, like a Greek theatre. Perfect acoustics, okay? So it was true. No microphones, stood in the center of this circle, and Sunday afternoon from 2 to 5, I'd do poetry for the air. Because many years ago I was told, John, it's not the number of people your poetry show, it's the quality of attention that they reveal. So you might have one soul, but that soul is a whole universe. And I learned from that the numbers don't matter. What matters most, of course, is the quality of the signal and the quality of the response. So if there's only one bird in a tree, the whole sky has wings. If there's only one tree in the forest, that one tree has to represent all the cut down trees and all the birds we can't see. It might be hunting season. The reason they ignore poetry is because you actually have to pay attention. That's a high price to pay. Some people can't pay attention. In fact, the society demands that you don't pay attention. That you basically just, whoo, there goes your bird of thought, there goes the sweet bird of desire, there goes that eagle, there goes that grackle, there goes that vulture, there goes that turkey vulture, there goes that roadkill, all the different birds. Which leads me to introduce you to the singing bird, Scott Vanya.
Decided that this mic's not close enough. Is it on? Hello, hello, hello. Is this on? This is working. This is working. It's rolling, Bob. It's working. It's rolling, Bob. It's rolling, Bob. We'll find that tune somewhere in there funny you sit, or at least I sat, in the audience with everybody else, and I heard mention of Christmas and Yuletide and Solstice. I didn't quite know what to think, because these days, every day I live, it's a holiday. And I know Christmas is going to roll around sooner or later. I'll wake up that morning off the air mattress with my kids, and we'll have our little artificial tree, and we'll give one another words for Christmas. We don't got no money, and we'll love every minute of it. It occurred to me the other day that my current preoccupation or you might say it's sort of a hobby, is to think. So, no matter how ridiculous it might seem, but I entertain myself with thinking. I think that we've gotten all confused over the last, I don't know, several thousand years. We all seem to think that maybe what we really love to do, maybe what in the very core of ourselves we love to do more than any other is to love itself. The other day I sent out a poem, and I sent it as far and wide as I could. That the most loneliest creature in the entire universe is God. I mean, I've been one. I've been everything before. I hated it. I hated the fact that there was nothing that was not me. So, when I'm feeling my bodhisattva self, the person I have the most compassion for is God. I hear it in other poets, I hear it in other artists. So, my current form of worship is seeing that God in everyone else. Whether you believe that this all came into being with some sort of big, mighty Big Bang, or some writer sat down at his desk and said, you know, today I think I'll write a poem. And I'll call it The World. No matter how you look at it, there's a little bit of that all in all of us. And it's not pity I feel for everything, but compassion. That's not exactly where I was headed with all this, but maybe we'll get there in a second. Call a well-intentioned guitarist. Not necessarily good at it, but I do mean well. So back to the point about love. Somewhere along the way, after we were birds and we were squirrels and we were raccoons and possums, and whether it was a monkey climbed down from the trees or whether it was just some old man made out of clay, we used to think that love meant something for somebody else. Me or you or her or him. But I think I get the ticket tonight. I think I begin to understand tonight because what I love, and God, I love open mics. But what I love most is the togetherness. Today I was in and I think she'll excuse me. Today I was in a Petco, picking out a gerbil, and I saw 5 little gerbil babies cuddling and hugging. I couldn't think of any better image to describe what it is to be with another, one you love, whether it be a poem, or a religion, or a god, or just the sound of the birds and the butterflies flying away on a day. So if I have a Yuletide carol, it'll be that what you take away from this is a renewed faith in your togetherness with one another. And if you're lucky, it'll last to the end of your day. Who knows? might be in the bush street tonight. Thanks. I'm gonna go stand up one, okay? I think I can probably have time for another one.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
I'll do a stand up.
Most people do 2 or 3.
Yeah.
39. 29. 29.
29. That's too short.
Not too long ago, I was invited to plug my stuff by my dear friend, Louise Richardson. This is an opportunity to plug a new initiative that I'm beginning. I have currently Open Mics Austin, .wordpress.com. That I don't think y'all know about it because I don't recognize your faces.
From Houston.
Okay, Open Mics Austin, .wordpress.com is a website where I showcase all the open mic shows I ever go to. I record them live, and then I broadcast them or put them on an archive player, and his calendar is all about Austin. And so tonight's show, all the performers will be live, will be up on the archive within a couple days now. So Susan Rook, the editor of Newsletter Today, asked for news, which is always funny because Thom and I get into conversations going back and forth about what she meant by news. It was his impression that it was the information I had about venues, but as I was sitting at my computer, I thought I might as well create something new while I'm sitting there, so I made up something. I made up something that sounded like news, and I figured it was news since I just made it up. It might be worth sharing with her. Yeah, it works. It sort of works on a bunch of levels. I figure I made it up. It's news. She wants news. Okay, I'll make something up. So I made it up. And it was sort of an idea I've been working on. I had a moment, and we'll get to my point here in a second. This is not actually poetry, but I figured I'd take time to make a plug. I had a moment, and my son and I've already discussed the weirdness of this, but I love taking hot baths, man. They are therapeutic. I don't care what people say. It's not just in your head. They make you feel better. So I'm figuring out how to zone moment, and I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to publish all the poets in Austin who have neither the resources, the know-how, or any sort of expertise or initiative to publish their poetry. And so I climb out of the tub, run in there and say, I'm going to create a website called Poetry Austin. And Poetry Austin will publish all the inexperienced, non-web-oriented, low-funded people who can't get their stuff printed, and they'll send it to me, and I'll put it all up, and we'll have a publication side of open mics. So we'll have Open Mics Austin on one side, which will handle the video, audio, visual, and we'll have a print side, which will handle the print publication of all artists and bands that can't publish themselves. And so that's the plug. As of today, I sent Susan Reed, and she may have been in the audience because I don't even know what she looks like. But I sent her a note that said, I want to start Poetry Austin. Can we put this in the newsletter? And she said, cool. So currently, as of 6 hours ago, we're good to go on starting collecting submission for Poetry Austin. That being said, I think that's enough for the plug. Now let me make something up. Oh yeah, more news. There are multiple personifications of an old ideal in this building, if not this room, regarding introspections, I don't know what you can call them, insight, looking into crystal ballness about time. One of which is Time the Riddler, which I have been graced to hear many occasions. One is John Barry's discussion of Richard Feynman, who affected me in my life at one point. I am no longer in a circuit where I really need to be anywhere. I have no job. I have no responsibility other than to my own conscience. One might think that is a dangerous place to be, but it is not. It is one where I am rewarded with the benefits of a good night's sleep. I rise in the morning. I do all day what I think is right, which is being open and honest and sincere and candid and intimate, tolerant and hopeful. Time? I don't know. I know so much about relativity, and I know so much about general relativity. I know for a fact that Albert Einstein is cracked, rolling over in his grave about what he said. Someone like him. We are each at liberty in ourselves to decide exactly what and how it is and what it means to us. Our education system would have us believe it is clocks, watches, time clocks. Time clocks. Watch out, you're going to have to punch a time clock someday. Yet there are times such as these when we can hear the sighs of our neighbor, our fellow poets, when something true is said. There are times when we're at our writing desk or our computer where it's as if the entire universe is looking through our eyes as we scroll something into the world. We do our damnedest to make it something beautiful. Time? Perhaps it is that every poem that we ever wrote really is time itself. Crystalline little orchid. It's just a little orchid just sitting there balanced. No roots. Probably not even any leaves. It's cold outside this building. In this room, the warmest thing is our shared ears, where we hear one another. I'll close on that by saying that I can think of no better way than perhaps spending time with my children than sharing time with poets who speak their minds. Thank you.
All the way from Houston, the astonishing Birdman. Birdman. Birdman.
Yes. How y'all doing? For those who don't know me, I normally come up here, but for the last, 2 months?
Yeah.
I haven't been up here because I've been in school.
Uh-huh.
And today was my last day. I get my AA degree in networking. So, I'm going to read some poems from my third book. I have four books. And a lot of people ask me the things I write, where it come from. I tell them once I start writing, it's just like it just starts flowing. So that's just the way it is. I don't have a story for any of them. Well, I do, but a lot of my poems, I don't have a story for them. I just write them and give them a title, and if the title fits, cool. If it don't, there's nothing I can do about it. Even better. This one is titled Another World. This is really about a dream. I have a chapter called Poems of Dreams, and this is one of the poems that's in it. That there's a crack in which another world begins. The walkway has a corridor that leads to another world. You see yourself as a stranger upside down, feet dangling in the glowing corridor light. The frosted glass will protect any newcomer from harm. Nothing can blow the enclosed world from its new course. Bristly rocks send bottles with message in the wildest dreams. come rolling towards the corridors as you reach towards the skies. A voice speaks loudly, but don't be frightened, my son. You have grown, you have gotten a look at the next new world, the new millennium. This one here is titled, The Skin I'm In. The skin I'm in is a target for sin. The color I bear, a treatment that's not fair. The road I walk, somebody will talk. The skin I'm in is a target again. The people I know, their prejudice will show. The road is long, there's a new song. The skin I'm in, a new life begins. The trust I share, a true love is there. To finally believe all people are free. And the last one is because this was requested, I don't know why. But this one here is called Ancient Ones. Now this one here, ancient one. Okay. Yeah. And this one here, I was watching a cartoon when I wrote this one. So it says, in the valley of the ancient ones, dinosaurs and icemen have now gone. They once roamed the land of the free. Now it's history for all to see. The ancient ones have built a story. Ancestors can now share their glory. In the valley where the buffaloes once roamed, eagles and coyotes once had a home. Indians could do their famous rain dance. Remember the ancient ones when you get a chance. Bald eagles and vultures soar up above. The valley that was once wasteland is what we love. I hear the ancient ones' soul talk, deep in the valley that they once walked. Thank you.
We have copies of this wonderful book. We have an incredible poet, PJ the Rainbow Poet, who is doing greeting cards for the festive seasons. Brilliant idea, wouldn't you say? Hallmark, move over. Here's PJ the Rainbow Poet.
Oh,
Adjust at the bottom.
I'm sorry about that.
I think I just adjusted it.
It worked.
Am I coming through?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what I have here is I'm making my own Christmas cards again this year, but I also decided, well, what am I going to write for the little inside greetings? And I started writing and wrote some more, and I got a bunch of them. So I thought, since I didn't have regular poems prepared, especially, that these were festive little mini poems and that they would be great, and I hope you all enjoy them. Some of them you might find a little bit similar to the one near it, but that's because I haven't decided which way I like it, or maybe I like them both. So there's about 3 pages, but I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to read the noted ones. And here we go. Oh, also respective of all religions. Some of these are specific towards Christians, some of them specific towards Yule, some of them specific towards non-specific. But they're all geared towards holiday season in all our religions. May you and yours receive much joy this holiday season. May you and yours receive many blessings this holiday season. By the way, these are y'all's greeting cards too, being here from me. You get all of them instead of just one on one card. Of all this season's joyous gifts, the best of all are those that lift. I'm thankful for this season that lifts our hearts in unison, for the joy we share in spirit, and especially the reason in it. I'm thankful for this season that lifts our hearts in unison, for the cause that brings the spirit and the joy we share in it. You could tell those two went together. Of all the blessings of gifts I have, and the many more that I have not, I am thankful. Of all the gifts I have, and all I will receive,
received of the many gifts given, the most precious remain hidden in the heart. The best gifts that are given are hidden. The best gifts received are hidden in our hearts. The best gifts are from the heart, from which we all shall never part. The gift of love from God above is with us every day, but in this season is extra reason to give that love away. In sharing and caring and joyous preparing, our spirit is rising with love more surprising than we knew that we could ever do. You share with me, I share with you. These are the things holiday season brings. Blessings abound for me and you too, in all that we think, see, feel, smell, and do. Ice, snow, and mistletoe. These are seasonal things we know. For the whole month of December, in the spirit to remember, are all religion's reasons to celebrate the season. The gift from the heart doth never part, for 'tis truly a gift, and for both it does lift. To give of yourself, time, effort, and patience, without judgment, with respectful acceptance. These are the warmest gifts we all need most. Bees and kittens, coats, hats, scarves, and mittens, snow people, icicles, snowflakes that tickle, with joy in your heart, let God's love impart. Of all the gifts we may receive, some we like and some we need. They've all come from the same place, from someone's heart, their happy space. Happy holy days, happy holidays, have a holly jolly Christmas. Upon a dove, God sent love, to bless the gift sent from above. The Bethlehem star that ruled that night brought those from afar that sought true light. Love is a gift that keeps on giving, but only when the soul is willing. All creation needs acceptance and love, care and nurture, a perfect design. With love from my heart, I give you this toy, in hopes you remember me with joy. Almost done. In Bethlehem there rose a star, compelled the wise and learned from afar, and came they did, with gifts they bore, Emmanuel, our guiding light forevermore. This is its sister. In Bethlehem there rose a star, compelled of the wise and learned from afar. With reverence they came, and gifts they bore, for Emmanuel, our guiding light evermore. As we give gifts this holiday season, be sure to note the special reason. As we receive gifts this holiday season, be sure to give thanks for the special reason. And for all of us poets here as well, especially everyone, because we've all been coming a long time, or intermittently a long time. So that means you too. As I sit to write this card, no time I have to fully impart the feelings I have for you in my heart. And my earnest gratitude for the years of gifts that you did impart. This is just a thank you, not done yet. Almost. The very bestest gifts in the whole wide world. So you turn it up on my worst one. Or my silliest one.
Notice that I wasn't hearing you.
Thank you. The very bestest gifts in the whole wide world cannot be wrapped. The most beautiful gift anyone can give does not come in a package. May you all be blessed with joy this holiday season. I'm done. Thank you. Sorry, I should have done this at first, but I owe you an apology. Last month, I made a mistake in my story that when Tahereh removed her veil, the man in the audience that got up did not slit her neck, he slit his own neck. But she was killed later for what she was doing in a horrible death, a martyr's death. Thank you.
And on that note, here's Linda Gordon.
We were brought here to be angels and to reach out to our brothers. How can we reach out in love if our cups have not been filled? Even Jesus retreated to be alone in silence, and he contacted the source of his love and of his power. When he returned to the people, he reached out and touched them, and he helped them find the source of their love and of their power. Prayer alone can be empty. Service alone can be hollow. Let us bring them together so we'll know and share the power. May we experience the presence. May it permeate our beings. Then when we reach out to others, we will serve with love and power. We were brought here to be angels.
Peter hasn't been heard. Here's Peter.
You'll notice a few people who are addicts of full English on Saturday nights. Peter's such a person. Birdman is an alumni, and Magic Jack, of course. But here's Peter.
Keep on saying that. I'm just coming in busy with a old age moment. Nelson Mandela. Everybody's thinking about that wonderful guy. And sort of brought to mind my own dear old dad, who's obviously gone on ahead. He used to say, I told you all I know, and now you know nothing. With humor, he was not stupid. Okay, this is called Light Scoops, Youth and Grit. And I actually put this together for a commencement thing that somebody was wanting me to do, and when the time came, I said, oh no, we're full, we don't need you. It's quite a nice little poem. Be what you are. Don't fret what you're not. You've got to go in with just what you've got. You'll strive and you'll sweat till you learn it. And then go back in and learn it again. And again. Only by inches can you move the yoke. Oh, surely your life is just some heartless joke. The best you can feel is exhausted and broke. Why is comfort reserved for only rich folk? But wider and deeper by each shallow scoop, it begins to take shape and come clear. Something magic is built that will heal doubt and guilt and overcome gray, dreadful fear. Now you rise to the task. No more questions to ask. Good feelings inside and a bounce to your stride. There's another new friend around every bend. And you know that you ride at the status of guide. Strong now as steel. Speak the truths that you feel. For you move in the light that is solid and real. Glide the home stretch. Sweep, swoop the smooth slope. Your mind is at peace. All your doubts turn to hope. Oh, it shook up your bones and rattled your brains. But your losses add up to way less than your gains. And when instinct and logic can balance the scales, take a long breath, let go. You are safe on the rails. You know that one. This one falls right on, it's very short. To serve. How can I serve? Day in, day out. Is it to be I must submit to agony in order to serve? Be patient, simple, and accept. Live life in integrity and respect. That is how to serve. Be humble. From there comes the power. Be joyful. For soon comes the hour when the golden era moves forth, and together we find our true worth. And why doesn't forth rhyme with worth?
Now we have the incredible man delayed by a storm, but not from our arms, but from Magic Jack.
Shoot him.
Thanks for the warm welcome back. I boarded the train at 9:30 in the morning at the Austin station, and I made it all the way to Taylor. That's about an hour north. When they announced that the train would be annulled at Fort Worth, and everyone was to get off the train, and Amtrak would find something to do with you, put you on a bus or whatever. That's all I had to hear. I jumped off that train immediately. I grabbed my bags and got off at Taylor. I figured I'm only an hour from Austin, but if I go to Fort Worth, I'm going to be about 5 hours from Austin, so don't want to get stuck up there. Anyway, so I'm going to try it again tomorrow. We'll see if it works next time. And I'll be up in Rhode Island for a couple of weeks. So I didn't expect to be here tonight, so I don't have anything specifically prepared for this particular occasion or this theme. But I thought I would share something with you that's kind of amusing. As you know, Thom and I go down to San Marcos, and now we have some others who are present company here who have also taken on that challenge, and it's such a fun thing that we love. The trip's worth it, right?
Definitely.
And the second time I went, the first time I went, I noticed that a lot of kids from the university show up there, and they don't often have anything in particular that they want to do except just have some fun. But then they get wrapped up in the excitement of it, and then they want to jump up and do something. Well, the something that they do is usually not too good. So the second time, I decided what I would do is bring a prompter, you know, a poem with blanks in it that they could fill in, so that no matter what they did, they would be different from one another. Well, there was one girl who took on the challenge, and she did such a fun job of it that I thought I would read it for you. So this was written by Emily Collins, a college student, probably in the age of like 19, 20, or 21 or something like that. And here's the poem that she wrote, filling in the blanks that I provided her. As a child, I was quiet, but even so, I never felt the need to prove that. In those years of utter cruelty, we survived by keeping every shoebox. Our siblings shared our patterns and fought endlessly over the clouds. Even our dog had the same anxiety, but that didn't matter because we ate the same trickery along with the things we found most boring, like butter and rent money and spirituality. Not done yet, not done. Not done. Okay. And yet, at the same time, we were anxious about volcanic tears and cryptology. You see, Mother used to weep whenever she ate. It's so arbitrary that it's hilarious for me. And sometimes I couldn't help but laugh at her when Dad spent most of his time memorizing receipts. And you could be sure he was enjoying every second of it. And then there was Uncle, what's his name, who we saw stealing our cider one Christmas morning. He was always good at saving my Band-Aids. Anyway. And winning at the arcade. When he wasn't sleeping, he was building castles. A good thing, he supposed. What can you say about those clandestine neighbors of ours? You could always expect them to float away, especially at the most turbulent hour. My high school years were despicable. I sat at the lunch table with sullen teens who dreamed of Ferris wheels catching fire. My favorite person was a boy named Cricket. And someone who I never got to know, but I wished I had, was the girl waving the yellow flag who was a total cunt, with all of those freckles to prove it. Everyone seemed to be having a total farce and doing parking lot ballet. Our TV was always in shards. My friends were allowed to collect the pieces and morph them into something else. But I was warned not to follow them down that lit path. For the most part, I would say that childhood is about angelic confrontation. As for doing it all over again, this time I would ignore the expiration date and be like those neighbors, a human hot air balloon. And yet tonight, here I am, anchored to this life. And that's Emily's filling ball. This is a little something I wrote about us going and traveling down, Thom and I, and whoever happened to be in the car. So we traveled south on Route 35 from Austin, Texas to San Marcos, my second visit to this cute town, once away from the expressway, and winding this rural route reminded me of home in New England. On the way to Wake Up the Dead Coffee, a laid-back cafe for nearby college students, mainly, and a monthly poetry night hosted by a young man named Jonathan. Everyone is friendly there, but in a more open and rural way than the almost eager to meet and chat with new faces, somewhat missing from the more hip downtown Austin. The room filled by 8 o'clock, and there was excitement in the air. Thom and Dana and I had come from Austin to be there, and later another Austin friend, Louise, which I think helped elevate the sense of how important and cool we felt towards these mostly young and very intelligent young folks. Excuse me. I played my guitar earnestly to match Thom's open, spoken word, as we often do, to appreciative applause. We each had a chance to read 3 times before 10 o'clock. We even managed to urge Dana up at the very end, to everyone's delight, and saved us from a long, droning read from one elderly man who tends to eschew poetry for essays. We know who he is. We're not mentioning any names. We saw fireworks all the way home going north on Route 35, smiling and tired. Thank you very much.
We have to be out by 10, which gives us time for our whip round rhyme, which means one poem, one time, except for the fact that Sarah hasn't been heard yet. Are you ready, Sarah? Come on, you should be here. And then, yeah, Sarah.
This is called Walmart Gangsters. Pants hanging low on bare butt cheeks, it's too hot for underwear. Besides, what do they have to hide? They've already stripped themselves of dignity and are reduced to catcalls and wolf whistles. Women used to have minds and hearts, but when they used them as weapons against these gangsters, crushing cigarette butts into the cement, they took us off our pedestal and attempted to make us less than their broken hearts. In the life they've been served, pristine shoes and a roll of bills in their pockets state their status. The last thing they can take pride in because everything else is dirty and used, like their souls. So they stand out here and watch for the women buying cheap wine and diapers, hoping for a little sweet sugar to get the bitter taste of how low they've fallen out of their mouths.
Robin? I was at Recycled Reeds today, and they had these wonderful harpists playing, looked like handmade harps, Irish harp and Boston harps, and beautiful music, medieval and Renaissance music, some of the Christmas carols that you would recognize, some of the older ones. And I saw this on Christmas display, Christmas carols for cats. So I thought I'd share one of these with you. The 12 Days of Catmas. On the first day of Catmas, there came a gift from me, a tear in your precious settee. On the second day of Catmas, there came a gift from me, 2 headless mice and a tear in your precious settee. On the third day of Catmas, there came a gift from me, 3 fur balls, 2 headless mice and a tear in your precious settee. On the fourth day of Catmas, there came a gift from me, 4 feathered birds, 3 fur balls, 2 headless mice, and a tear in your precious settee. On the 5th day of Catmas, there came a gift from me, 5 furry things, 4 feathered birds, 3 fur balls, 2 headless mice, and a tear in your precious settee. You've got the idea now. Come sing along. 6 strays a spraying, 7 trays a brimming, 8 fish heads reeking, 9 fleas a leaping, 10 toms a wailing, 11 kittens mewling, 12 vet bills coming. And that's it. And a tear in your precious settee. Thank you.
I know Louise and Ben has heard this one, and it's titled, What's in a Friend? And Diana, of course. A best friend is someone you can talk to and trust, can call on them and they will not fuss. Every move you make is great to them. They will not leave you hanging on a tree limb. My best friend is always glad to see me. He greets me at the door so all can see. Whether I'm hurting or grouchy is no big deal. This friend is precious and very for real. He will follow me to the end of the Big Dipper. Everyone should know he's my pet chihuahua, Skipper. Huh? Oh, of course. Look who his master is.
Dog. Anybody? All right, here we go.
Huh? 10.
Get your handkerchiefs ready. This is a sentimental. Cuts deep. Means it's called pink lace. All in pink. All in pink. My head spins. I can't think. I am all in a whirl. It is she. It's my girl. It's her lips on my face. Oh my Lord, it's pink lace.
I had a long time ago. I had two images that stuck with me for 30 years. I'll make this story short, but at one point I gave this girl this sort of like haiku, but I think it's a beautiful image, and it's white sphere of chrysanthemum inside a glowing ruby geo, which I always thought I've been holding that in my hand, white sphere of chrysanthemum inside a glowing ruby geo. The other one was a prayer that went like this: letting the sun within my mind unite as one with the earth within my lungs, the bird flies free upon the winds of my every breath. So, those are the closest I get to short. They have to call it off.